Hi there, welcome back to the YouTube channel. I'm back again and I'm carrying on looking at some of the Edge of Eternity's cards. Now I've worked out what I was doing wrong on Moxfield. So thank you very much to Luxnu, one of my moderators. I really do appreciate you pointing out where I was going wrong because it works now. So just before we start today's card, thank you for that. But obviously, now I've said that, you're here for this card today, and it is Infinite Guideline Station Wooburg for a legendary artifact spacecraft. And when the Infinite Guideline Station enters the battlefield, create a tap 2/2 colorless robot artifact creature token for each multicolored permanent you control. Then you get Station. Now, Station, I think it's worth pointing out, it's a new ability that's coming on all the spacecraft. Those of you in the know will know this already, but it's kind of like a crew ability, but you've got to keep doing this to tap creatures to put to put charge counters, for they are charge counters, onto the spacecraft. And then you can only do it as sorcery speed. You can't do it at end of anyone's turn or anything like that. But once you get the crew value met, which is this number in the bottom left-hand corner, it becomes a permanent creature at that stage. So you've got to basically tap 12 powers worth of creatures for this one to become the 715 flying spacecraft that said when it attacks, draw a card for each multicolored permanent you control. So, you know, it helps a little bit because you get a whole load of tapped robots when you start. You have to wait for them to untap, but, you know, it is what it is. So yeah, I'm going to have a look at this day. Like I said in yesterday's deck, these are just starting points. We don't really know at this stage. I'm recording this, 14 days before the pre-release. Don't know what's coming, so the cards I'm covering from Edge of Eternities, I'll probably do a quick recap video on all of them at some stage in the future. But this one I think is going to fairly much stay static based on what we've seen so far. So here we go. Here's what my take, my early take, I should say, on the Infinite Guideline Station looks like. Hope you enjoy it. So we like multicolored permanents, which is always good. So it makes sense to have Gerard Carthalion, the Planeswalker, in the deck. Again, it's Wooburg. But the +1 creates you a cavalry creature token with trample that's all colours. So it does count as a multicolored permanent. So that really helps. Then you get to do the -3 and choose up to 2 target creatures. For each one of them, put a number of +1/+1 counters equal to its colours. And then -6, return target multicolored card from your graveyard to your hand. If that card was all colours, you get to draw a card and get 2 treasure tokens. Probably not worried about the -3 or the -6 that much. You just want the +1 to keep getting those Carvus out. So when you actually cast the Infinite Guideline Station, you get all the extra robots. And if you've got a few of these in play, and you're lucky enough to have, say, 4 of them in play, you can just instantly turn the station into the spacecraft. Basically, it stops being a station, becomes a spacecraft. So bear that in mind. Anyway, creatures. Yeah, we want to look at things that love multicolored cards. So the Bloom Tender is in to give us that extra mana ramp. Hero Precinct 1 is monocolored, but we will be casting multicolored spells all the way through this deck. So, hey, extra human tokens are always fun as blockers. Jensen Cartholion, the Druid Exile, is also here. Cast a multicolored spell, you scry 1, and if that spell was all colours, you get 4/4 Angel that's flying with Vigilance. And you can just pay 5 mana of any colour to add Wooburg. Curious Follower just lets you untap another permanent, again, but it's multicolored. Dryad of the Elysian Grove is mono green, but it does mean make all our lands every single land type, so we get to play an additional lands. That helps. A Seeker, God of the Tree, is here. Now, yeah, you can play it that side, but I think we all know it's going to be played as a prismatic bridge, isn't it? Until we get creatures or planeswalkers, we get them to come into play, so, you know, that's how it's probably going to play out. And again, it classes then as another multicolored permanent for the Infinite. Oh, IGS. Let's go with IGS. Faeburrow Elder, again, gives you all the mana you need. And then General Ferrer's Rockrick. Yeah, it's hexproof for monocolours, so, you know. What have we got? We've got Path to Exile, Source Plowshares is protected from any of the mono blue bounce spells, Terror and all the other versions go for the throat, etc. And whenever we cast a multicolored spell, you get a 4/4 red and white golem artifact creature token. Again, a multicolored permanent, and it's on a cast trigger. So basically, you have this in play, you cast IGS, you'll get the 4/4, IGS will come into play, see this, and see the red white golem tokens. You get at least 2 robots of this in play, so it works really well in this deck. Adrex and Nev Twingasters, because hey, don't we just want to create more tokens as we do things? Aragon the Uniter, bit of a no-brainer. We are going to be casting multicolored spells, so this gives us a trigger for everything we cast that isn't black, basically. General Marholt, El's Dragon, I just like. It's a interesting choice in this deck. It's not one people would probably expected to see, but I figured since our creatures really haven't got any way of evasion, like trample, first strike, death touch, well, trample mainly, having them get big when they get blocked might be really useful to us. Inga and Ezeka, the wonderful human god chariot people, give all our creatures the ability to tap for mana and to use that to cast creature spells. And then whenever you cast a creature spell of 3 or more mana was cast from creatures was spent to cast it, draw a card. Just a little bit of fun, but another one that's really good for crewing the Infinite Guideline Station, because you can attack with this and then use it to, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, station. Shouldn't be crew, it should be station. Got to get the terminology right. Bit of a no-brainer. Jetmir, Nexus of Rebels, thank you very much. Again, another way that really does help us station up our IGS quite quickly because of the power pump it gives all our creatures. And then some bit more fun. Yidris, the Maelstrom Wanderer, because who doesn't want to give all the spells after this has dealt damage cascade? Garth, the One-Eye, also makes an appearance, just so we can do the whole Disenchant, Brain Geyser, Terror, Shivan Dragon, Regoth, and, Black Lotus, which is the only way you can get Black Lotus into play in Commander. Yeah, that makes sense, assuming you're playing by the rules anyway and it's not free-for-all. Jagentha, the Wellspring, is also here. Another one that comes into play now. Yeah. Yeah. Let's just not go there. That's fine. We know what Jagentha does. That's fine. And Joda, the Unifier, because we have got quite a few legendary creatures in the deck, it makes sense to have Joda here to pump all our creatures up. Now, just think of it this way. If you have a load of legendary creatures in play and you play Joda, they're going to get massive. So possibly one creature being tapped will be able to station IGS. And then IGS is there as well. So, we'll see. Maelstrom Angel, because I just like doing this one. Gives us a way of playing cards from our non-land card from our hand without paying its mana cost. Niv Mizzet, the Guild Pact, is also in because of the damage it will deal, the life it will gain as the cards it will draw us. That sounds good. Rien, Angel of Rebirth, pumps all our multicolored creatures up, which they all are, apart from a couple of exceptions we know. And then whenever another multicolored creature you control dies, return it to its owner's hand at the beginning of the next end step. Yeah, that's pretty good. And then finally, Ramos, the Dragon Engine. Just a great way of people cast. When we cast spells, we get the +1/+1 counters on here. And hopefully we get to take off the 5+1/+1 counters and add 10 mana, 2 of each colour, to our mana pool to help us cast all the things we've just been talking about. Sorceries, bit boring. Farseek, Nature's Law, 3 visits, whichever way you want to do it. And then Supreme Verdict, just to give us a real bit of board control. Again, it's multicoloured, so, bit of fun. Instance, well, Assassin's Trophy is in just to take out that annoying permanent that we don't like. Terminate to take out an annoying creature we don't like. Void Rend just to blow up anything that isn't a land. And then some fun. Unite the Coalition. Because we are playing a 5-colour deck, this seems a bit logical to have this in here, especially since it's instant speed. You can save things. If someone casts, I don't know, Damnation, you can phase everything out for 7 mana, or 5 permanents for 7 mana. You can draw cards, exile graveyards, the score, or you can pay 5. You can pay 7 mana to do 10 damage to something if you really want to. So yeah, or destroy artifacts and enchantments. It's all good. Artifacts, well, a lot of ramp with Mox, Tantalite, Soul Talisman. The Elixir of Immortality is here. It's traditional for one of my decks by now. Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, Felwar Stone, and Mind Stone are basically your ramping artifacts. And then Panharmonicon, because the Guideline Station enters. It is an artifact, so it will trigger twice and give us twice as many robots. And then Unwinding Clock. Untap all artifacts you control during each other player's untap step. Now, obviously, you can only station at sorcery speed. I'm aware of this, but having IGS come into play, give you a whole load of robots. Having this in play, then untap some walls, so you've got a whole load of blockers if you need them. Some more of the permanents, and I went a bit heavy on the enchantments, which is why I'm probably going to come back and look at this deck in the future once we see what else is coming with EOE. But at the moment, the enchantments are pretty good. So, Anthem of Champions to pump all our creatures up. Awaken the Honoured Dead from Tarkia Dragonstorm to destroy target online permanent, mill 3 cards, discard a card, and return a creature card or graveyard, or land card from your graveyard to your hand. That's fine by me. Broker's Ascendancy, pump everything up along with Cabaretti Ascendancy. Look at the top card of your library, it's creature or planeswalker, you may reveal and put it in your hand. If you don't put that card into your hand, you may put it on the bottom of your library. You don't have to put it there, but it just gives you an extra draw in your upkeep, basically. Then we have Frostcliff Siege, where you're going to basically do Timor, give all your creatures +1/+0, and give them trample and haste. Mana Cannons is one of the few non-multicolored spells in the deck, but this one deals damage to any target where X is the number of colours of that spell. So, you know, 2, 3, 3, 3, 2. It's all good. It's all extra damage. War Leader's Call pumps our creatures up, and when creatures enter, we get to ping everyone for 1. Widespread Thievery is one of the more unusual hideaway enchantments I've decided to play in this deck. I do quite like the fact that you cast a multicolored spell and you get a treasure token, and then you can pay Wooburg and then play the exiled card without paying its mana cost. But, you know, whenever you cast a multicolored spell, create a treasure token, that bit's fine on its own, to be perfectly honest, in this deck. Windcrag Siege is next. Again, probably going to be the Jeskai one you do here. Just give you that goblin, which you could then use to station up your IGS. Anointed Procession's a no-brainer. We had to have this here. We're creating enough tokens, we want to double up on it. Barren Step Siege just pumps all our creatures up because we're going to go with Abzan on this side of things. And then Leyline of the Guild Pack. Yeah. However you want to pay for it, you can do it. If it's in your opening hand, you may be giving it on play. Each non-land permanent you control is all colours. And lands you control every basic land type in addition to other types. You really hope you have this in your opening hand, because this is just great, because it then means everything becomes multicolored. So Infinite Guideline Station, when it enters play, will then give you so many robots it's ridiculous. So yeah, pick this one up now if you haven't got one already. Well, and on MCGO it's still cheap at the moment. I expect the price will be going up shortly though. Parallel Lives, again, is in just to pump up our token generation. We have one game changer with Smothering Tithe because I wanted the treasures to help us cast IGS. Storm the Vault is just silly. Yeah, we should have, beginning of our own step, we control 5 more artifacts, we can transform the Storm Vault, and as you all know, it turns into a Tolarian Academy for all wants and purposes. Apart from, you can also tap to add 1 mana of any colour. But yeah, load of blue mana for each artifact you control is pretty good. All Out Assault is next to give all our creatures +1/+1 a death touch, and then yeah, the additional combat step may be relevant, but it's a +1/+1 death touch and another multicolored permanent. Likewise, Assemble of the Legion, if you can get this going for a little while with the muster counters on it, you're going to be really happy with the amount of 1/1 red and white soldier creature tokens you get when you cast IGS. And Maelstrom Nexus. Yeah, if we want to muck around with multicolored stuff, we might as well muck around with it in style, hence it's here today. Mirari's Wake helps us with all our mana, which is great. And then Dragonback Assault, I just like the artwork on this version. I've got the normal version, but I like the artwork on this one. Just does 3 damage to each creature and planeswalkers. Then our lands start giving us 4 full dragon token creatures, which means stationing IGS becomes a little bit easier. And finally, the Kami War. Exile target non-land permanent runs chapter 1 and return up to 1 other target non-land permanent to its owner's hand, and each opponent discards a card. And then exile this saga and return it transformed. As you know, it transforms into Okachi Made Manifest. It's all colours, it's flying and trample. When it attacks, defending player chooses a non-land card in our graveyard. We get that card back to our hand, and it gets that much power boost equal to its mana value, which is nice. Now, because we are playing a 5-colour deck, I have gone heavy on the lands, and we are playing 39 lands. You could probably trim it a little bit if you want to, but I think it's worth doing it. Command Bridge is here. This is a new land coming in from EOE. Enters tapped. You have to tap an untapped permanent we control when it comes in, and then basically it becomes a new version of Command Tower, but it's a standard legal one, so it's a little bit better. I will point out that I have got to change these to Crucible of the Spirit Dragon and Haven of the Spirit Dragon should not be in his deck. I lifted the mana base from one of my Dragon deck, and I forgot that I need to take these 2 out, so there you go. You could probably find some more spells to put in, but yeah, ignore these 2 lands, pretend they're not there. Yeah, I'm not recording the whole video, so I will change. I will let you know in the comments what they've been taken out and replaced with. But the rest of it is all the tri lands, all the check lands, the search lands. They're all here. You know, polluted delta. They're all the tri lands. I haven't gone with any of the shock lands, I'll be honest. But everything is here to help us out. Yeah, so that's it really. Apart from the boo-boo I've made with the 2 lands, but I'll let you know in the comments what's changed then. But that's it. That is my take on the Infinite Guideline station. I really like this one as one of the first stations that's come out. Having a new 5-color commander, especially with the new station, the new creature rules, the new commander rules, not creature rules. Let's go with the new commander rules where you can use legendary artifacts to be the commanders is really cool. And this one I just like. So there you go. That's yesterday's and today's decks. That's the first 2 of the Edge of Eternity cards. There will be more next week. The week after that, I've already pre-recorded all the videos for that week because I'm on holiday, so there'll be a bit of a break between EOE unless I can see something really great to do. But for now, thanks for watching. Please hit the like and subscribe button, hit the share button, leave me a comment. We could have a bit of a challenge. Let me know what you'd replace the 2 lands I've made a boo-boo with and the 2 dragon lands that have no use whatsoever in the deck. Let me know what you'd put instead of them. And yeah, we'll take it from there. But thanks for watching. Take care. And I'll be back next week with, yeah, some Edge of Eternities and probably some more the last couple of Final Fantasy decks if I get around to them. But for now, take care. Have fun. Thanks. Bye-bye.